Hi, my name is Tanya Nelson, and I'm doing my book presentation today on The Empty Pot by Demi. This book is probably good for about ages second or third grade, but really because of the moral story, it'd be great for any ages. The moral story is about honesty, as you'll see here as we talk about this book a little bit more. First thing I want to do is just talk to you a little bit about the illustrations of this book. As you can see here, all the pictures here are encompassed inside of a circle, which I think is pretty cool. It's again, the name of the book is The Empty Pot, so it's kind of like looking down in the middle, on top, looking down into a pot, which is pretty neat. Also, it uses a lot of colors like the reds and the yellows from China, which is where this book takes place. And as you can see here, in the middle of the circles are all kind of a beige color with a kind of a green lime color on the outside, which to me just kind of makes it a real inviting, warm-feeling book that really entices you and makes you feel good inside and want to continue reading here. So let's just talk a little bit about the book. The book is, again, the setting is mainland China, and it's about a little boy whose name is Ping. Ping loved to grow things. He had a real green thumb, and flowers was kind of his specialty. Well, at the same time, the emperor was getting up in age, but he also really liked flowers. So he decided to have a contest to see who could grow the most beautiful flower. And whoever did would be able to succeed him as the emperor. So what he did is he told all the children to come get a special seed from him and to take it home and to grow it. And in a year's time, they'd all gather back again, and he would look over all the flowers that they'd grown and he would choose his successor. So Ping was so excited to get his seed. He took it home and immediately started working really hard on getting it to sprout and to grow. After the first few weeks, it's still nothing sprouted. So then he changed out the pot and put in a bigger pot. Then again, still nothing. So he changed out the soil. He did everything he could think of to get that plant to grow. Still, after a year's time, he had nothing to show to it. He still had an empty pot. He was so embarrassed because he'd seen all the other flowers that his friends had grown and they were beautiful, and he didn't want to go take an empty pot to the emperor, so he wasn't going to go. His father overheard him saying this, and his father said to him, "You did your best, and your best is good enough to present to the emperor." So Ping went ahead and ran to the emperor's palace where all the children were gathering, even with an empty pot. The emperor was walking along looking at all the flowers at that time. They were beautiful, but for some reason he had a frown on his face. Then he gets to Ping and he notices his empty pot and he asks Ping, "Where's your flower?" And it was then that Ping started to basically break down and cry and explain to him everything that he had done in this year's time to get it to grow. Then all of a sudden a smile creased upon the emperor's face, and he says, "I have found him. I have found my successor." Now you might say, well, how did Ping become emperor when he had no flower? Well, that's where you're going to have to read the story to find out. The king had basically deployed a little trick on all the children's seeds, including Ping's, as we know. But Ping was the only one who was honest enough to come with the original seed that his emperor had given him. Again, you'll have to read the story to find out what the trick was that the king played on all the other children. But needless to say, Ping became emperor, and the moral of the story is honesty is always the best policy. I love this book. I love reading it to my kids and being able to talk to them about the moral of the story afterwards. I hope you guys enjoy this book too. Thanks so much.